so, when John tells us about the matrix of witchcraft and confusion and illusion that has been put before our eyes, that's true. And they've also systematically stolen every one of the sacred medicines from people around the world and turned it on itself and said, oh, have it back. We know you want the coffee and the chocolate, but oh, too bad the rituals have been forgotten, We know you want alcohol. And so that's when absinthe is a traditional medicine from Europe that in times past has been called the green goddess. And it was made with whatever green bitter herbs that a herbalist or a family had growing in their garden. Sometimes hundreds of herbs. And so taking that as a shot will invigorate the body with the signature of hundreds of plants, start the digestion, connect us to the landscape. And so now when we go into the liquor store and get vodka, it's just fermented potatoes. There's no herbs in it. And so again, it's the spirits, the sacred medicine of the Asian and European people has been taken and stripped of all of its medicine. And alcohol is an excellent way to deliver medicine deep into the body. So it's part of our mission in the Mestizo tradition to reclaim our ancestral medicines and give thanks and remember how to prepare them and how to use them properly and how to honor them. Again, absinthe, a very special one made from the Artemisia family, the wormwood and the mugwort. And like that antelope sage that we were burning today actually isn't a sage, it's Artemisia. And that is the strongest family for clearing away ghosts and entity attachment. And it's because it's so bitter, it's basically gross and you're gonna vomit and the spirits feel the same way and they're out of there. So, that's part of the hidden history of the absinthe that we might be remembering is how to keep a family free of ghosts and energy attachments. The our story of our peoples, the mestizo nations of the world, the indigenous peoples of the world, is that, the church came, basically, whatever that represents, and they took away the medicines, and then they gave them back and said, you can have them like this. So big one, again, in America is alcohol. And this tradition goes back to the Middle Ages in Europe, where the church did two things around the same time. They made it illegal to cry at your loved one's funeral. They would actually pull people away, whip them, do the worst things you can imagine, and say, shut up and don't cry. And that's the shit we've been dealing with, for generations from our parents, stuffing it down. And now, we're coming here with these medicines and we're getting free. We're remembering to let it flow like the river. So they did two things. They made it illegal to mourn, to wail and cry. And at the same time, they made it illegal to make alcohol with anything other than three ingredients: barley, hops, and yeast. And that's beer, that's Budweiser, that's football games and pizza and this whole culture that is like a remnant of the Roman Empire, basically. And why did they do that? Hops is an amazing medicine. It's very calming and very depressing, and it's useful for someone who might need help sleeping or someone who's having a panic attack. But they said this is the only herb you can have. If you make absinthe or honey wine or anything, you're going to jail, will burn you, you know. So, as part of the witch inquisition, and remember, witches are herbalists, grandmothers, wisdom keepers, lineage holders, all these things that we hold sacred. That's a word to demonize them.
Which means wise.
Wise and wild. So what that for, what is it, 500, 700 years now, that effect has had on the white European culture, which now we see dominating the world in a really ugly way, is they said you can't mourn your ancestors. You can't make absinthe and cleanse away the ghosts. You know what happens when you don't mourn your ancestors? They come and they feed on the living. And they said, you can only have this herb that makes you fall asleep. And that makes you okay with going back to work every day when it's something you don't care about. And we can see that in America now. We can see everyone going to work and they don't care. And what do? They get home and they crack a beer and they turn on the TV. So again, hops is related to ganja. Very sacred, relaxing herb. It's amazing. But some of our wise teachers say we need at least 300 personal relationships with different medicine plants to be healthy and diverse. You need to know and use 300 minimum plants. And you know, we can see that that might seem like a lot, but also our people are amazing and intelligent. And kids nowadays, you've probably heard, can identify 100 or more brands of clothing and technology. And so that memory system that's natural in the youth was made for finding medicine, remembering it, and sharing it. And so grateful to be here with you all, unraveling the trauma of that history, of those ghosts that are here, and that, you know, that's why we use so much tobacco, and that's why sometimes these rituals are so strange, is because we need to protect ourselves from these unwell ancestors that are coming to feed off our life force. And that's why we always invite them to the ceremony at the beginning, which hopefully in the next few days we'll have more elaborate opening prayers to invite these ancestors to say, come and receive this medicine because we're going to purge it out. And we know that you need to. And again, that's why folks are drinking until they vomit, right? It's like the American pastime is get drunk until you purge. And so in that weird way, people are doing what they know they need, but they're not in the right hands. And so that's why slowly and gradually we're growing this mestizo nation, this tribe, this rainbow people that can take care of our own, right? But we don't, for Social Security, we have community and we have plants and medicines, you know? For health insurance, yeah, plants and mushrooms and friends. And so this is like a grassroots way or a communal way that we can take care of ourselves. You know, everything that the systems of power are trying to give to us are just replacements for that that wholeness.
Their mom is always like, how is it? It's great.